Emily stood on the small platform in front of the mirror, laughing as her best friend Lily snapped photos of her in the wedding dress. Her mother Susan stood nearby, beaming with pride, fussing over the hem. "You look perfect," her mum said. "Jason's going to cry when he sees you walk down the aisle." Emily blushed, turning slightly to see how the lace flowed behind her. "Do you really think so?" "Absolutely," Lily smiled. "You're glowing, Em." Everything felt right. The dress, the moment, the excitement. It was just 1 week until the wedding. The guest list was final. The venue was ready. The cake had been tasted. The vows written. Everything was in place. Then her phone buzzed. Emily looked down, expecting a sweet message from Jason, maybe something about dinner plans or how much he missed her. But instead it said, "I can't do this. I'm sorry." That was it. No explanation. No follow-up. She froze. Lily noticed first. "Em, what is it?" Emily didn't answer. She stared at the screen, reading the message over and over. Her hand began to shake. She stepped down from the platform, her heels clicking too loudly on the floor. Her mom frowned, confused. "Emily, what happened?" Emily didn't say anything. She tried calling Jason. It rang once, then went to voicemail. She called again. Nothing. She sent a message. "What's going on?" "Please call me." No reply. Panic slowly crept in, but she stayed still, like her mind couldn't catch up with what just happened. Lily gently touched her arm. "Emily, talk to me." Emily sat down on the fitting room bench, still in the dress. Her mother stood nearby, asking questions, but Emily couldn't hear them. Everything felt far away. She looked down at her hands, still holding her phone. She blinked hard, but the tears didn't fall. Not yet. The wedding was 1 week away. Guests had already booked their flights. Everything had been paid for, planned, promised, and now it was gone. Just like that. She slowly pulled off one glove, then the other. Her fingers felt cold. She sat on the floor in silence, the dress pooling around her like soft white waves. No screams, no crying, just a quiet, heavy stillness. The kind that happens when the world falls apart in a single sentence. Emily is a 29-year-old public school teacher. She teaches 3rd grade at the same school where she once studied. Her life is simple and steady. She rents a small apartment, drives a used car, and spends most of her weekends grading papers or reading in quiet cafes. Her students love her, and the other teachers respect her. She doesn't make a lot of money, but she's proud of the life she's built. When she met Jason, everything changed. Jason was confident, funny, and charming. He worked in finance and made good money. He dressed well, talked smoothly, and always seemed to know what to say. From the first date, Emily felt like she was in a movie. Flowers, weekend trips, long walks, and candlelit dinners. It all happened so fast. Her mother, Susan, was thrilled. Jason came from a respected family, had a well-paying job, and looked perfect in every family photo. Susan cared deeply about what other people thought. She wanted everything to look just right. A perfect house, a perfect daughter, a perfect wedding. To her, Jason was the prize Emily had finally won. Emily's father didn't say much. He was a quiet man who spent his time fixing old radios and watching the news in silence. But he had a way of noticing things that others missed. Sometimes he would look at Jason with a thoughtful expression, but he never said anything against him. Not directly. Emily's younger brother, Ryan, was different. He didn't trust Jason from the start. "There's something off about that guy," he once told her. But he didn't push it. He saw how happy Emily seemed and stayed quiet, not wanting to cause problems. Looking back now, Emily sees the little signs she missed. The way Jason avoided questions about his past, how he never introduced her to his close friends, the times he made small comments that hurt, but smiled while saying them. He always had a reason, always made her feel like she was overthinking. Still, Emily believed in the dream. She believed in love. She believed in him. When Jason proposed, it felt like everything had finally fallen into place. The ring was beautiful. The moment was perfect. Her family cheered. Her friends cried. Susan immediately began planning the wedding, diving into flowers, menus, and guest lists like it was her own big day. Emily sometimes felt like a guest at her own engagement. Her mother took control, turning every choice into a statement. The dress, the invitations, the seating chart. Emily wanted a small wedding, something simple and meaningful. But Susan said, "This isn't just about you. This is about our family." Everyone was watching. Everyone expected perfection. In their town, people remembered everything. Whispers lasted for years. Emily had always been the good one, the daughter who stayed close, never caused trouble, never failed. While her brother had struggled in school and clashed with their parents, Emily had done everything right. College, career, engagement. She was supposed to be the one who made it. Now, just 1 week before the wedding, it was all gone. Jason had walked away with one short message and no explanation. The guests were already booking flights. The church had been paid. Her dress had been chosen. The dream her mother built was crumbling fast, and people were already starting to talk. The silence after the message was louder than anything Emily had ever felt. She didn't know what to say to her friends, or her students, or her co-workers who had helped plan a surprise bridal shower. But worst of all was the look on her mother's face. Not one of sadness, but of disappointment, as if Emily had let the whole family down. And now, in this small town where everyone knew everyone's business, Emily had to face the shame, not just of a broken heart, but of a broken image. She had spent her life trying to be the one who got everything right. Now she didn't know who she was anymore. Emily finally meets Jason face to face a few days after he sent the message. They sit across from each other at a quiet cafe. She hopes there's been some mistake. Maybe he's scared. Maybe they can talk things through. But when he speaks, his voice is cold. His eyes don't meet hers. "I don't love you anymore," he says, like it's nothing. Emily stares at him, her heart pounding. "Then why did you propose to me?" she asks, her voice soft and shaking. Jason shrugs. "I don't know. It felt like the right thing at the time. Everyone expected it." "That's not a reason," Emily says. He doesn't answer. There is no fight, no crying, just a long, heavy silence. Emily walks away feeling hollow, as if something inside her has cracked wide open. But the worst part is, he didn't even seem sad. That night, while lying on the couch in her apartment, Emily checks her phone. Her heart stops when she sees a photo on social media. Jason is in Napa Valley, smiling with a woman beside him. The woman is Rachel, his co-worker. Rachel had been at their engagement party. She even gave Emily a gift. The caption under the photo says, "No more pretending." Emily's hands shake. She reads the caption again and again. It's not just a breakup anymore. It's betrayal, deep and public. People start messaging her, asking questions. Some friends send the photo to her as if she hasn't already seen it. The news spreads fast. In a town this small, everyone knows by morning. At home, her mother Susan calls. She doesn't ask if Emily is okay. She doesn't talk about Jason cheating. Instead, she says, "What did you do wrong? Why couldn't you keep him interested?" Emily doesn't answer. She just hangs up. She shuts off her phone. She locks the door. She stops going out. Shame and anger swirl inside her like a storm. She wants to scream. She wants to disappear. She wants to go back in time and undo everything. Later that night, while cleaning up the mess of wedding stuff in her living room, she finds a small, folded piece of paper. It's from her vow draft, the part she had worked on late one night when she still believed in love, in Jason, in their future. It reads, "You are the safest place I have ever known." Emily stares at the words. Then she folds the paper again and puts it in a drawer. Her hands are still, her face unreadable. Something inside her has changed. She is not sure what will happen next, but she knows one thing. She will never beg for love again. Emily starts getting strange messages on her phone. At first, she doesn't know who they're from. There's no name, no number, just screenshots. One by one, she opens them, and her heart sinks. They're messages between Jason and another woman. Some are flirty, some are more serious. All of them are old, dated months before Jason ended the engagement. The truth hits her hard. Jason had been cheating on her, emotionally at first, maybe more, even while they were planning a wedding, even while he was smiling in family photos. The whole time, he had someone else in his heart, not her. Emily feels sick, hurt, angry, but mostly, she feels fooled. She trusted him. She believed his lies. Now she sees it clearly. At home, things aren't better. Her mother, Susan, keeps trying to control the situation. She says, "We can still fix this, Emily. Just say it was a mutual decision. People will stop talking." Emily looks at her in disbelief. "You want me to lie?" Susan sighs. "It's not lying. It's protecting your image. You don't want people to think he left you." "I don't care what they think," Emily says, her voice firm. "Well, I do. Susan snaps. Everyone was looking forward to this wedding. Emily stares at her. You didn't care if I was happy. You just wanted the wedding. Susan's face turns cold. She raises her hand and slaps Emily across the face. For a moment, everything freezes. Emily feels the sting, but she doesn't cry. She doesn't even flinch. Instead, she looks her mother straight in the eyes, calm and clear. Then she turns around and walks out. Later that week, her brother Ryan comes to visit. They sit on the back porch, not saying much at first. Finally, Ryan speaks up. I didn't want to tell you before, he says, but I saw Jason with Rachel months ago at a bar. They were kissing. Emily doesn't react right away. She just nods slowly. Why didn't you tell me? She asks. I didn't know how, he says. I didn't want to hurt you. I thought maybe I was wrong. You weren't, Emily says quietly. A few days later, Jason sends her a message. It says, we can still talk if you want. Emily stares at the message for a long time. Her fingers hover over the screen. Then, without a word, she blocks his number. She feels no need to scream, no need to fight. Something inside her has shifted. That night, she opens her laptop. She starts writing a list. It's not a to-do list. It's a plan. Not for revenge, but for something quiet, something private, something for herself. She doesn't know what the future will look like yet, but she's no longer waiting for someone else to save her. Venue still booked, guests still arriving, but no ceremony scheduled. People whispered as they entered the hall. Some looked confused. Others checked their phones, wondering if the wedding had been cancelled. There was no music, no sign of Jason, no decorations had been taken down. Everything looked ready, but empty. Then, Emily walked in. She was wearing her wedding dress, simple, elegant, with soft lace on the sleeves. Her hair was tied back. No smile on her face, but no tears either. Just calm. Everyone turned to look at her. Her mother stood up quickly, shocked. Her father sat still. Ryan gave a small nod. Emily walked to the front, past rows of guests, past the flower arch that was meant to be her altar. She stepped up to the podium, took a deep breath, and looked out at the crowd. Hello, she began. Thank you all for coming. People shifted in their seats. Some looked around, still waiting for Jason. I know many of you expected a wedding today, she said. So did I. But things didn't go as planned. She paused, letting her words settle. I was left a week ago, not with a talk, just a message. No reason, no warning. And I've had to carry the silence ever since. Whispers rose from the crowd. Emily continued. I thought I had lost everything. The love, the future, the dream. But the truth is, I didn't lose the most important thing. She reached into her dress and pulled out a small piece of folded paper, her wedding vows. These were my vows. I wrote them for someone I thought I would marry, but today, I want to read them for someone else. She looked down at the paper and began to read. I promise to be honest, to be kind, and to listen when things get hard. I promise to forgive mistakes, especially my own. I promise to stop hiding behind what others want and to choose what feels right in my heart. She looked up again. I was going to say these words to him, but today, I say them to me. There was a deep stillness in the room. A few people wiped their eyes. Her mother sat frozen. Her father looked at her with quiet respect. I know this is not what you expected, Emily said, but I needed to do this. For myself. To stop chasing approval. To stop pretending I was okay when I wasn't. To stop trying to be perfect for everyone else. She folded the paper slowly. Today, I was supposed to get married. And I did. To the only person who stayed. Me. A few seconds of silence passed. Then someone clapped. Then another. And another. Soon the room filled with applause. Some stood, some cried, some just nodded, quietly moved. Emily stepped down from the podium. She didn't look back. Jason and Rachel weren't there. But by that night, they had seen the clips on social media. It was everywhere. People were talking about the bride who married herself. But Emily wasn't thinking about that. She wasn't trying to prove anything anymore. She had said what she needed to say. And for the first time in a long time, she felt free. Emily's speech goes viral, shared online as a story of self-love and strength. A guest at the almost wedding had recorded it and posted it with the caption, "She didn't marry him, she chose herself." People started sharing it everywhere. In comments, strangers wrote how much her words meant to them. Some said it gave them courage. Some said it helped them let go of people who hurt them. Emily was surprised to receive messages from her old students. One wrote, "You always taught us to be brave. Now you showed us how." Even some of Jason's ex-girlfriends reached out. One said, "He did the same thing to me, but I didn't know how to speak up." Thank you. Emily didn't feel proud or famous. She just felt seen. For the first time in weeks, her mother, Susan, came to visit. She sat at the kitchen table, holding a cup of tea and avoiding eye contact. "I didn't know how badly I hurt you," Susan said softly. "I just wanted things to look perfect, but that wasn't fair to you." Emily listened but didn't say much. She nodded. "I'm sorry," Susan said. "I really am." It was an awkward moment. Emily didn't rush to forgive her. She just said, "I know." Things didn't go back to normal, but they weren't as cold anymore. Ryan, her younger brother, became her biggest support. He helped her pack boxes, carry furniture, and even painted the walls of her new apartment. They laughed more. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just stayed. Emily also decided to take a break from teaching. She had given so much to others for years. Now it was time to care for herself. She started therapy, where she could finally speak about things she had kept inside. The pressure to be perfect, the shame of being left, the quiet fear of not being enough. In her free time, she began writing. Not about Jason, but about herself, her thoughts, her healing, the small victories of each day. One blog post turned into another. Then someone asked if she'd consider writing a book. She smiled. Maybe. Emily still had hard days. Some nights she would think about what could have been. A house, a future, a family. But those thoughts didn't crush her anymore. She wasn't completely healed, but she wasn't broken either. She had started again. And that night, for the first time in a long while, she fell asleep without crying and woke up without fear. 6 months later, Emily is walking alone in the park near the wedding venue. It's a warm afternoon. Birds are singing. The sun is shining through the trees. She stops for a moment and looks around. The same place where everything changed, but today it feels calm. Up ahead, she sees a couple taking wedding photos. The bride is laughing, her dress flowing in the wind. The groom gently fixes her hair. They look happy. Emily watches them for a few seconds. She doesn't feel pain, just a quiet smile. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a small notebook. It's soft and worn from being carried so often. She opens it to the first page. Written in her own handwriting are the words, "To the woman I became, I'm proud of you." Emily looks at the words for a moment, then gently closes the notebook. She takes a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun on her face. No big moment, no music playing, just peace. She turns and walks away, not because she's running from anything, but because she's ready for whatever comes next. Hey lovelies, thanks so much for sticking around till the end. If you felt something, learned something, or just enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. See you next time. Bye.